Good evening. Welcome to Santa Barbara Forum. I'm your guest host, Karen Avalon, and we have Bob Kingston with us tonight.
Hello.
And we also have Tracy Henderson of California Parents Union. And we're going to be discussing the dilemma in the public school, the public education system, and what's happening with our children, and the protection that can be provided for them and the support. So Tracy's going to be providing that information, and I urge you to follow up with Tracy because she'll give you all the material and support that you need to protect your children, other parents' children, and to get this information out to as many parents as you possibly can.
I happen to believe, just to intersect, I think the kids are going to wake up the country up because you don't screw with people's kids. And we slept through a lot of years just assuming they were learning the right things, and this is a real serious issue. And when you have leaders like Tracy Henderson that's just dynamic and gung-ho and totally believes in what she's doing, we're blessed, and we're gonna team up with TPUSA and kick some butt with this thing. Excuse me.
Yeah, the children need all the help they can get. It's a very serious situation, and President Trump recognizes it. We've got his support. Yeah. So Tracy, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all you do. And what would you like to share, Tracy, to get us started tonight?
Well, thank you for having me. You know, it's always fun just to speak to working patriots like you two. I have fond feelings for both of you, and thank you for what you do. You would do it for me, and I would do it for you. So, absolutely. I don't know. I think what's going on in our schools right now is horrifying to me. We were talking before the show started about, you know, the hottest topic today is the social transitioning of our children in schools. To me, it's extremely scary because I have clients whose ex-wives or ex-girlfriends are in the process of trying to cut body parts off 11-year-olds and 5-year-olds. And so I would live in a world of the court system that is supporting that kind of medical mutilation and criminal activity against children. And so I know I've learned where it starts and how dangerous it is, and it starts in our schools. There's a case called Mirabelli v. Olson. I know you folks have heard about it. The judge just ruled against a motion to dismiss and added some more parties. And in that case, what's really powerful is there was medical testimony, this is a federal case, that defined what social transitioning is. And it's the pronouns, it's the girls and boys locker rooms, it's the I think I'm a cat, I want a litter box in my classroom because I identify as a cat, it's tampons in the boys locker rooms. All of that stuff is the beginning of the end towards medical mutilation. And Karen, you were saying earlier, and I think you should jump in here and say something about this, because what a religious person that you knew who knows that there's only two sexes started to consider becoming a boy. Mm-hmm. I mean, the indoctrination in our schools is extremely powerful, and it does not belong at all.
Yeah, and the younger children are most vulnerable because, you know, they don't have the ability to discern, do they? They're so impressionable at a young age.
Well, in what's really sick and twisted is they're going after, or they attract, our special needs kids, our abused kids, our latchkey kids who are looking for connection. I mean, somebody put it to me in a way that made sense from a child's perspective, because I'm 53 and I've lost that ability, right? You see a twinkly little rainbow sparkle thing on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and you're a little kid, and they're talking about LGBTQ and transgender, and that is like drawing the kids in, right? And then they need friends, they're socially awkward, and all of a sudden this community welcomes them. It's just gives me the chills.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, our kids are vulnerable, very, very vulnerable. As a parent, my advice is watch the teachers and the curriculum like a hawk. And I'll give you one example, and then you got to shut me up, Karen, because I can talk all night. Irvine Unified School District. Okay, my executive director, Florida, I got a call from a teacher over there saying there's some sort of assembly that's happening in Irvine, and the principal and the district are being vague. And they forwarded me the email, and it was, this person's going to speak on this topic, and we're going to have exercises afterwards to bond and have inclusivity. And there were little teeny nuggets of, this is all about transgender and LGBTQ, right? It turns out that, do you know what the transgender flag is, Bob, Karen? You do. Okay, so it's the pink part that they add to the LGBT flag. That was created by a man who likes to have sex dressed as women involving children. Okay, so the creation of that flag has roots in pedophilia and pornography. This school at USD had that flag on their PowerPoint presentations at the school, and we knew. They didn't have to tell us it was about pushing transgender ideology in the school. So, I mean, it's pervasive, and it's extremely scary. And it's happening everywhere. And this was just, I want to say, a week ago. So if you don't think it's happening in your school, it's in your school, and you really have to watch and look. And that teacher was the one that alerted, because her little spidey sense was tingling. Something was wrong. They're being too vague.
Yeah. Knowledge is power, isn't it? And these parents, unfortunately, they don't have the awareness of what's happening in the schools. That's why it's so important what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, we're working. What's really powerful to me is when California Parents Union started, nobody knew what to do. I mean, I would do legal Zooms with hundreds of people, and now you see local communities and local groups standing up and storming school board meetings and pushing back. It's a beautiful thing. But, to take a little bit of credit, we have resources in our membership lounge that empowers people who don't know what they're doing. I mean, there's 42 million people in California, right? Think of how many people have no clue what's really going on or don't know what to do when they figure out what's going on. So we have resources, and the resources come from real life problems and real life issues. Like, for example, Redding, Arthur Gorman, okay? He's on the County Board of Education. Their lawyer was telling them that if you don't use pronouns as an educator in a school, you could be disciplined and terminated under the law that added gender as a protected class, and that's just not the law. So we drafted a resource for him that other school board members use because they're getting bad legal advice from lawyers that represent school districts like Lozano Smith. I'm sorry I said that, but they're a very extremely woke law firm, and that was the person on the other side. And so that's how it works. That was a real life problem that we created a resource for, and now it's used statewide.
Well, I think it's, first of all, I'd like to interject and thank you ladies for both being here and your commitment to this. But I'd like you to talk a little bit, like Tracy, about your organization and what people, for $25 a year, you can be part of this parents union, and that we get your voice to be, the teachers union is so corrupt. I mean, Tracy, follow the money, and it's just corrupt, and these teachers pay into this. And we need to get a voice. Please join the parents union, and you'll get a voice. And I'd like Tracy to talk a little bit about what by joining the parents union, what's made available to them.
First of all, if you're the type of person that doesn't have time to do anything, you just want to be part of something bigger than yourself, joining for $25 a year really helps, because you can think of us as the antidote to the teachers union. The truth is, we learned during COVID that most of the CRT, SEL, masking, testing, Black Lives Matter, gender, all of it is 99% because of the teachers unions, okay? So you can think of us as the antidote to the teachers unions. Right now, one of the biggest things that's happening across the state is the teachers unions have clued in to the power that school board members have, okay? A lot of people don't understand that the California legislature has delegated broad authority. It's Education Code 35160 the school board members, trustees, to do what they think is best for their community, okay? That means if you have parents' rights, teacher-focused, student-focused school board members running the district, they can hold the line against the Lost Cause California legislature because they have statutory and constitutional authority to do what they think is best for their communities. And that looks like the curriculum, right? Mm-hmm. That looks like no LGBTQ, transgender, pedophilia flags, only the American flag and the county flag, or you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. So what the teachers unions are doing is they're recalling mm-hmm. conservative parents' rights school board members and planting CTA woke plants. So California Parents Union is in a battle with the CTA to stop recalls, and we have a PAC called cpocpac.org, okay, where we raise money to help school board members, and we are trying to fund, train, and support the school board members we endorse, right? In our social media, they sign a pledge, I will always support Parents' Right to Choose, and we hold them accountable and we watch them. And by endorsing them and pushing them out in their communities and helping train them, we have Leadership Institute. Okay, I know you folks know about Leadership Institute. It's a conservative organization. And we have Kingdom of God. In case you're a believer and you want to run for office, most believers stand up there and spew scripture and lose the audience. So this organization helps you bring God into your campaign without losing the audience, right? So that's one of our big initiatives, is to be the antidote to that effort by the CTA, right? And I really think it's mission critical. If you're not running for school board, you need to find somebody who is, and will help you. So that's one thing. The other thing, you alluded to it, Bob, is getting teachers to leave the union. Now, this was fascinating to me. We had a PhD do an education seminar for our board of directors. And in there, he said, CTA, California Teachers Association, is perceived #1 most powerful in the United States as a teacher union. CTA. But they're actually, in reality, 37th out of 50 whatever states in services. So think about that for a second. They're a perception. Does that make sense to you guys? Mm-hmm. They don't do what Rebecca Friedrichs calls them, and I've stolen her term and she let me, is the education mafia. They take $1,500 to $2,000 a year, and that's a lot of money for a teacher, and they don't do anything but use that money for politics. That's why our legislature is bought. You know what killed the last recall of Newsom? You know what actually killed it?
Teachers union.
You guys know?
Teachers union.
Teachers union. Their money. They have $500 million that goes 70 to 80% towards politics. I can't tell you the stories from teachers. So we have a board member, Janet Balekian, who's a 25-year science teacher who is helping teachers leave the union. Because if 50% locally, okay, so let's take Clovis. Okay, well, actually, let's not take Clovis. Let's take Temecula. I think there's like 1,500 teachers in Temecula. They're close to 500 leaving the union. Okay, they've saved that 1,800 to 2,000. If you think you need insurance and lawyers, there's organizations called AAEteachers.org that gives it to you for $250 a year. Okay, you're set. You don't need the teachers union. You've replaced everything you think you get from them. If 750 out of the 1,500, 751 leave the union, they can replace their collective bargaining representative, and you guys know what that is. That's a person that negotiates with the district for benefits and that kind of thing, that is more their person. So do you guys remember the masking? Okay, the whole masking drama. Teachers unions were sitting down with school districts negotiating to mask our kids for money with no parent and no teacher in the room. Right now, that teacher union representative, collective bargaining representative, needs to go. Over in Temecula, the teachers union president locally, you guys, was paid $100,000 ish dollars a year. Their job was held, and they were head of the local union that sued the district, and they were paid by the district. You see that conflict of interest?
Yeah,
Teachers' unions need to be taken down. So on a basic level, Bob, I just need you to join. If I get to 1 million members, I have 25 million. That's nothing compared to their 500 million, right? It's nothing. So we have to simultaneously grow and defund them by getting the teachers to leave. And we start a wildfire we're working on starting a wildfire, like Temecula, we're working on getting them to leave their local union, 50% plus one. We'll start a wildfire across the state, and we will actually defund them. That makes any sense.
Are you working with Christy? Are you and Christy Lozano working together?
I thought Christy moved.
No, she's back.
She's back.
Yeah,
okay.
she's here. Because she created a huge awareness, didn't she, when she exposed what was in the curriculum. And then we hosted an event at the library here in Santa Barbara, the Faulkner Gallery. That's where we met Christy. And we showed a film, Whose Children Are They? Do you remember that documentary?
Yeah, that's Rebecca's. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so there were a lot of parents showed up for that movie, and they all met Christy, and Christy explained how she came across, she basically stumbled on what's being taught to these kids, and then she exposed it on YouTube, and it went viral within minutes. So I'd love to see you and Christy. I mean, you two, you're already a force to reckon with, Tracy. I mean, you and Christy together, you've been a very dynamic force.
Let me get clear. I hope I'm speaking not out of turn.
No, you're not.
You were talking about if teachers decide not to be part of the teachers union, how does that work?
So we can put you in touch with Janet Balekian, but basically you just need to communicate with the union that you're opting out. Now, what happens is, I won't say it on live television, but they screw with you. I have a particular word that I use that I won't say.
What did you say? They're through with you?
Yeah, they screw with you. They
they're screwed with you.
So another word. Teacher, yeah, there's the. I can't say the F word. So. But there's a certain date where you enrolled, and they say to the teachers, you have to unenroll within a certain period of time around that date. And you're a 20-year teacher, you're like, I have no idea what that is, and they're not going to tell you. And so they mess with you. And so we can help with all of that. But basically, it's simply a communication to your district and the local union. I would put it in writing and then take the next steps that they want you to take. And if you get screwed with, reach out to Tracy at CaliforniaParentsUnion.com, and I'll put you in touch with Janet, who, that's practically her half-time job, is just helping teachers get out of the union. I mean, $1,800 a year savings right away.
How hard is it if they follow what you recommend, they can get out of the parents union? The teachers union?
Yeah, and then they can join ours for $25 a year, and we have those links to those insurance and lawyers if they think they need them. It's not that hard. Where it gets hard is they mess with you. And here's what the reality is, Bob and Karen, is so Rebecca Friedrich, do you know who she is?
Yeah, kind of.
She wrote a book, Stand Up Against Goliath. We give her book away free to teachers who join California Parents Union. She was willing to go around the state with us and basically do seminars on having teachers leave the union. And I started creating those relationships, and it was really powerful to me. Over in Reading, the objection to that was, well, we're going to take the teachers union down from the inside. So they refused to leave and refused to form a group. And what they're doing by doing that is paying national. And you guys know what the NEA does. You've seen what the NEA was responsible for closing our schools. So your local union gets like $100, national gets like the rest of it. So by staying in the union to, take it down from the inside, you're paying the devil, right? So then it was over in Temecula, the objection we got. I had a secret meeting with a bunch of teachers, and they were deadly terrified of physical violence by the teachers' unions. So that's why Rebecca's title, Education Mafia, is so apropos.
Mm-hmm.
Are you folks familiar with Celeste Feeler
No.
over in Riverside? No? Celeste is somebody you guys should have on your show. She's amazing. She had to move her daughter to Nevada for 2 years because the teachers' unions actually physically assaulted her daughter and videoed it and sent it to her.
Wow.
Because she was working against teachers' unions. So when I say education mafia, again, I'm not kidding. So that creates boundaries or barriers to getting teachers to leave, right? You see the mental?
Yeah.
Okay?
So if teachers want to get out of the teachers union, they make your life miserable.
Yeah, they tend to make your life miserable. And that's why I'm here to help. It's all perception. It's all perception. That's my heart.
There's more and more. Yeah, there's more and more teachers that are.
They don't scare me.
I know.
I'm not scared.
I wouldn't mess with you.
We Mama Bear. Yeah, we have to be that way. These are our children, and this is our future. This is they are our future.
And these people, they threaten they'll lose their jobs if they get out of the union.
No, it's more. It's all kinds of dilatory stuff. A board member over in Temecula, the teachers union started a doxing campaign. Let's just call it a doxing campaign. This man was making millions of dollars in construction. Okay, clients like Disney, clients, big $1 million clients, and the teachers union got to those people. And he lost his clients slowly and ended up in bankruptcy. That's one way. They physically threaten you. Like Celeste, they call your employer and accuse you of things that are not true, right? It's all of the evil stuff that they justify as a means to an end. That's how evil the teachers unions are. And for me, on a more academic level, they're going around recalling school board members. It worked in Orange County. And there's a rumor on the street that there was inappropriate relationships between the head of the teachers union and the one of the board members during this recall. I mean, I could go on and on and on,
Yeah.
So the teachers just figures it's not worth all the hassle, and they want to have their job and retire, and just they kind of give into that stuff. That's crazy, man.
But Bob, the district gives them their retirement. The district pays their paycheck. The district gives them their vacation. None of that is from the teachers' unions. All the teachers' unions do is have a representative that negotiates salary and stuff like that. That's it. People don't understand that. But they get you when you're a young teacher, and they make you think you need them, and you don't.
So that's the main thing is to get teachers, because that's money in their pocket, and I think that's a big way to start, because they'll get the teachers on our side and away from that corrupt teachers union.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lawsuit in Temecula, wasn't there? That so Christy Lozano, she won a lawsuit, and there was a teacher, I think, in Temecula that was struggling with the same situation that she was struggling with here. And she referred the lawyer to this teacher in Temecula, and he won for Christy here, and then he won for that teacher in Temecula. Are you familiar with that situation? What happened?
No.
Okay.
No, I heard a little bit about it, but no.
Yeah. So
I'm not following that one.
There's a lot of wins, but we've got to be relentless. We've got to be fearless. The parents have got to be fearless, and going back to what we were speaking about earlier, information is power, knowledge is power, and I think if the parents know they have the support that you provide, they're halfway there.
Yeah, the other thing that we provide is we had, I don't know if you guys remember Cassia Williams. She was our legislative affairs director, and she blew up the Capitol. And she retreated into her community and her family because it's taxing. Once you raise your profile, all of the haters come out and start attacking. And there's a lot of them out there in the parents' rights groups and the infighting. There's a lot of desperate to stay relevant. There's a lot of controlled opposition. It's actually terrifying if you really think about it. So she retreated into her family and her community. But now we have Chris Bish. Are you guys familiar with Chris Bish?
Yeah.
No.
She ran for office, and this woman is not afraid of anybody. And she's our new legislative affairs director. And so we are a voice at the Capitol for parents' rights, right? And so what does that look like? Well, for example, Assembly Bill 89 is coming out, and that is a bill by Garcia. And I want to get the language correctly here, but this is something that parents can support. I'm going to have to look at it if we take a break. It's not coming up, but in that bill, it's a pushback on the girls and boys sports. The problem with the current language is it says sex assigned at birth. Okay, that is, don't use those words ever. That's not scientifically accurate. And so I called the staffer that's working on that bill. I think it's Matt Julian, and you guys should call him and talk to him yourself. And I asked him, are you using that language, sex assigned at birth, to appease the Dems or something? Because that's scientifically ridiculous. And I launched into my whole thing, boys can't become girls. And he actually was receptive. And we had a really good conversation. He said, well, there's an opportunity to change that language, right? And what's really powerful is if the Trump administration changes the language in Title IX, right, with this whole, and I haven't looked into it, so I can't articulate that right now, but if you change the language in Title IX, the language in AB 89 will change, right, because it's a federal mandate now. But also, there's this education code, Ed Code 221.5. Are you guys familiar with it?
Vaguely.
Okay, so it requires that if somebody identifies as a sex, they can use the facilities and be on sports teams of that sex. So that means boys can go in girls' locker rooms based on Ed Code 221.5. And the conversation I had with Sanchez's office was that's going to be having problems. I don't know what that means, whether it will have to be repealed or what, because I'm not a legislator. But what the positive part of this whole point I'm making is that the Trump administration and what they do with all of this is going to have an impact in California, whether Newsom likes it or not.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. So we're a voice at the Capitol for you on these issues, and we attend hearings. We write letters of support. We write letters in opposition. We work with legislators. We're trying to find some legislators to draft criminal bills to make some of this stuff medical mutilation crimes, right? Because it's actually, you can't, under the family code currently in California, you can't sterilize a child. Can't. It's against the family code. And when you give puberty blockers to somebody, you sterilize them. So, right? But you can't take a family code and do something against a hospital that's sterilizing children. You need to make it a penal code, a criminal code, so that you can have them charged with a crime, if that makes any sense. So,
Boy, it's a big legal mirage, man.
So I lost you.
I know, that's why. Well, that's why you're so important. The other side, the parents got to wake up and realize, check your kids what they're learning and the test scores, and I mean, they keep lowering the standards, and these kids are graduating where they haven't got the skill set they need to be successful.
Yeah.
Well, Karen, don't you know about this? Like the learning loss over the last 3 years?
Yeah.
COVID?
Yeah, my kids are very much involved in the school, in the classroom. They're watching what's being taught. They're asking my grandchildren what's being taught. I mean, because they're very awake and aware. I mean, there's a lot of parents that, unfortunately are not, because, the information, or for political reasons, they're not awake and aware. But God bless President Trump, because he's changing that look what he's done already at the border. So we're going to see these changes happening quickly, hopefully.
I'm so jealous of you, Karen. You have 5 children and 7 grandchildren. Right there, you're influencing 12 people.
Yeah. Well,
you need a roadmap to figure out how.
I'd like to take the credit, but my kids are very savvy, fortunately.
Sure, it was you. But yeah, parents, it's I went to a conference with the Leadership Institute on the East Coast, and you guys know Billboard Chris? Have you heard of Billboard Chris? No? You haven't heard of Billboard Chris? Okay, everybody go look up Billboard Chris on Twitter. He is a guy from Canada that takes billboards, the ones where you put your head through the middle, and goes to college campuses, and it says things like boys can't become girls. And he sits there and he gets his arm broken and things thrown at him, and he has the conversation, and he's done it for so long that he's now a nationally recognized, maybe even internationally recognized speaker. And so he comes to this conference, and I know him, and we talk, and I said, why are you talking to these people? They're in the know. You got to get out there and talk to the people who don't understand that boys can't become girls and the indoctrination that's happening in our schools. And he says, Tracy, and I'll never forget this, he says, even in this room of like-minded patriots, they don't know. You really have to pay attention. If you don't understand something, please come to us and we'll explain it to you. We'll, with a request of enough people, we'll find an expert to do a webinar for you on the topic. We really have to get to the people who don't understand.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like what you said. You're a voice. You're a very powerful voice for the children and for the parents. And they need support, and you're providing that. Thank you.
Well, we need to get the benefits of joining as a sales and marketing guy. We need to get the people to realize the benefits of joining the California Parents Union, just from an educational standpoint, and having a voice and getting involved, where we have trouble doing it on our own.
Well, Bob, the features and benefits is what you're talking about. We have a special needs advocate. So if you have a child that's in an IEP 504 and the school's jerking you around, she will talk to you for half an hour to an hour for free, and then you guys can make a plan of action. She's like a fourth of the price that I am, and she knows 50 million times more than I do. She trains me on special needs issues. So that's like one benefit. We have free lawyers give free consultations in the membership plan. We have thousands of dollars of legal documents that help you opt out of this crazy curriculum, right? That kind of stuff. We have authors that are giving discounts on books that you want your kids to have, right? There's a great book, I don't know if it's still here, nope, it's not on my counter, but I'm Still a Girl, right? She's in our membership lounge. We have people like the Truthful Therapist, Pam Gardner, who has resources for discounts to teach you how to talk to your kids about not becoming transgender. We have this organization called In the Cortex. And for people like me who have 3 years of PTSD for fighting, 12 hours a day, it's this really cool thing where they take you down to movement and they rewire your brain. And they take you out of the PTSD without drugs or therapy. Oh. Right? It's fascinating. Yeah, and there's a discount in there. Like I told you, we have resources on how to run your school board. I mean, think of a topic, there's a resource in there. So for $25 a year, right? Even if you never use it, like what's $25 a year? We don't have salaries. We'd like to be able to pay our executive director more than we pay her, but we don't have it. I'm sorry, Red Cross, but we're not salary heavy. All of our board is volunteer. The money goes towards creating more resources. Now, if it gets $20 million, we're going to start buying legislators just like the CTA so that we can take back the lost cause legislature. Because, guys, bottom line is it's money in numbers. I'm sorry to break it to you, but that's the bottom line. So, but I really, my dream, my fantasy is, 500,000, 1 million members, one by one. Yeah. If you're a billionaire and you're watching this and you're like, okay, this girl needs help, go to our PAC, cpocpac.org, and donate so we can help school board members. We need it because, again, we can hold the line in California against the Lost Cause legislature and Newsom, who hopefully is recalled at this next round, the recall that was just launched today. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but I really, really want it to be a grassroots, one by one, $25 a year, $1 million member organization. That's where we're headed.
Amen.
We'll get Elon Musk on board. With all
Yeah, he's hard to get his attention.
I don't tell you, he'd surprise you. He has a huge heart and a lot of money.
Yeah, and he loves
He's got
kids.
a trans kid too.
Yeah. So that's something to consider in my world, anyway.
So what's your take on the homeschooling, Tracy? My eldest daughter and her husband are looking at doing that for a while, and I think, Trump is realizing it's going to take a while to clean up the public education system, isn't it? So he's encouraging homeschooling for a while.
Can the money follow the kid? I don't think it can, right?
The
From the
10,000.
school to the kid, no, there's no school choice. They tried that and there was a saboteur. But to answer your question, Karen, I think it's brilliant. If you can do it, absolutely do it. So Sam Sorbo, do you guys know who Sam Sorbo is?
I bet the name.
Okay, she's an actress. So Sam Gallucci ran for governor. He had, seminar or one of those conferences, and it was all about homeschooling and other kinds of alternative schooling. Sam Sorbo spoke, and I sat there and I was riveted by this woman because she said, look, some of the lies you tell yourself in your life are taught in public school. And I was intrigued, and I'm going to cry here, so I'm not going to cry. But one of the lies that I was told was that you have to have a career before you have a family. So I chose that, and as a result, I have one child, and you have 5. And that's one of the biggest regrets of my life is that I don't have more children, right? So those lies are told in public school. And then she goes, okay, so you don't think you can do this? I'm a lawyer, my husband's an educator. I can't teach my child anything except how to be an assertive female that fights, right? Because that's my training. But what Sam said was, she's like, she has 3 kids, okay? I forget what the other 2 kids were, but she's like, I think one was an engineer and one wanted to be an actor. Like, that was their passion. So she's like, I got that. I can do that. But her 3rd kid wanted to be an artist, and she's like, help me. I don't do art. I don't know what to do. So you know what she did to homeschool this kid? And this is what you do as a parent. There's nothing better than that human interaction between your child and you, that extra time that you get, those trips to the beach, those meals, those talking about nutrition over dinner. So what she did with this artist kid is she went to the store and she bought, a bucket full of art supplies, and they did art for 3 hours a day. Wow. And this kid is now excelling in ways that I can't even remember what Sam said. Like, doing competitions, winning, she just fed the child's passion.
Yeah.
And who understands the child's passion better than their parents?
Absolutely.
That's it. So Salt and Light is an organization your child should go look at, Karen, okay? Dram Reese runs it, and Dram and I have talked, and Dram's lovely. She's like, Tracy, we need to burn down the public education system. And I said,
What's
Dram,
it?
I understand.
Salt of Life?
Salt and Light. Salt and Light. Dram Reese, okay? And she said, we need to burn the public system down. And I said, yes, I agree. But that I as a generalist, California Parents Union is a generalist. I meet you where you are. If you're not ready to get out or homeschool, I'll give you resources to fight. I'll tell you how to go to a school board meeting. I'll tell you how to talk to your teacher. I'll give you the clues to watch for the indoctrination, right? Okay? But Sam believes it's over. It's evil. And so I really, 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 really support homeschooling. It just wasn't me. I just wasn't my family. But those kids, those homeschooled kids, are special human beings. Special. And they're not sitting there all day like this. That's the other piece of advice if you have young children. Do not buy one of these for your child. Yeah. It ruins your brain. I did manage to not have a TV for 7 years. No TV. for 7 years.
Yeah.
We had to color and do glitter and stuff like that. So that is hard in today's day and age.
It's very important though. Because,
Yeah.
again, going back to how impressionable they are at a young age. So we have to be so careful what they're being, and
Reminds me
observant
of
of
the
what they're being fed.
You know the Ben Carson story, right, Tracy?
No, tell me, Bob.
He had a mother who worked hard and had 2 boys, and she was taking care of people's rich houses and all that, and realized they didn't watch much TV and they read a lot of books. So she came in, and Ben Carson and his brother had to do book reports every week. And he went from being a marginal one, he was probably the worst student in his class, to getting a dream, and through reading books he realized what he might be capable of doing. And today Ben Carson is an amazing human being.
Yeah, amen. Seriously.
And he had to write book reports, and he said by reading and just he got a dream of what he might be able to do. And it was
the
he could do it.
imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, the books give you that imagination in the world that you don't live in outside of your life. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
his
used to do that.
story is phenomenal. Now he's saving. He came out of retirement to work with the kids, because he says I can't retire when I'm seeing what they're doing to our kids, and he's a big voice. He was down at Turning Point and spoke. And
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and I think Rebecca Friedrichs also spoke at one of those.
I know I've
events.
met him. He's an amazing guy. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's homeschooling. Amen. Absolutely. If you can do it, absolutely.
Okay.
Hillsdale has a good program for that.
yeah.
You know, there's also another resource. We have a homeschooling 101 class for free in California Parents Union with Emily Jones.
Wow. Homeschooling program in all right. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. And is it similar to Hillsdale? Is the curricula very similar?
No, it's very basic. Like
Okay.
you've got to do paperwork to get out of school so they don't come after you and charge you with truancy and, knock down your door and accuse you of doing a daycare illegally. So you have to take steps. So it's
Yeah.
a basic part of it. But I think Sam Sorbo, her book, and Dram Reese, Salt and Light, I'm sure you could find resources on how the heck do I do this? Karina Powers, Latinos for Medical Freedom, she had to homeschool her kids because they're not vaccinated. And you can't go to school if you you don't get the currently scheduled vaccines, right? Which we are all learning make kids sick, give kids autism, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a baby, don't vaccinate that kid. And if the pediatrician tries to make you fire that pediatrician, don't do it. It's my brain is blown up since COVID started. The world, I would do so many things different. But for the grace of God, go I. My daughter didn't get vaccine injured, right? But so Karina Powers has probably on latinosformedicalfreedom.com has resources too, because she's deep in it. And her kids are amazing. They are the kids that sit there and have a conversation with you. Those kids at dinner, as opposed to the kids that are like,
Take those things away.
I know, from across the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't do much good, that's for sure.
Well, one thing I'm taking away from this on my end is I'm going to get with Florida and get a real outline and a pitch on all the things are available through membership in California Parents Union, which will entice more people not only to join the union but get involved in making a difference. And so I'm going to get with. She's fabulous at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I'm good at getting the word out and getting people to do that. So I think that's what I'm taking away tonight. And
Florida's our new executive director, so you folks know she's just a couple months in, and she's an organizational mastermind. So
unbelievable.
She's trying to take us to the next level. She's just brilliant, and her daughter was trans, so she's our people. And she's Filipino.
She is a real deal, and she's exactly. I'm not bragging, but I'm marketing and getting the word out and getting people together. And we're a good match because she's helping me find the tools and to be able to present better than I do. But I'm going to bring a lot of people to this program, so I'm excited.
Well, yeah, I'm really excited about the TPUSA and California Parents Union collaboration. Bob. I am too.
It's a match made in heaven.
It really is, because they can't focus on the kids because of the age restriction. So they're focusing on the college kids, and you're focusing on the younger kids. So you're supporting the parents in all ways.
TPUSA is ready to go to the high school level. That's the big deal.
So I don't understand why they can't have a TPUSA on school campuses. So maybe you could or younger school campuses. Maybe you could educate me. But what
They can't. The schools. If you get one parent and 3 kids, the schools have to be able to let you have a chapter on their campus. They can't say no.
We want to get
it's an elementary school.
Yeah, we want to get these kids in a room with Christy Lozano. Christy's ready to go here, and I've recruited somebody, but she's 17, to start the first chapter here in Santa Barbara. But because of
We're
the
getting
age,
out to talk to more groups about how to do the chapter TPUSA chapters in the schools. I'm talking to the YMCA because they have a government program and they love what TPA. Get all the kids to come to the Y, get a chapter. And have activities, learn about voting and being a citizen, and get them together doing something positive that they feel good about. So.
Yeah, and the activities around the Constitution, like one thing I heard was the Fourth Amendment is about search and seizure, right? So they do an activity that makes the kids understand Fourth Amendment search and seizure. Like maybe they take their backpack out of their locker and look through it, right? Is that legal? What does that mean? That's that kind of stuff that honestly schools are not teaching. Maybe at the college level. But what I understand, so like I was telling you guys offline, we had some college girls come to our women's meeting, one of the political women's meetings. California's Parents Union is nonpartisan, so just so you know. But they came to our meeting and they told us their story, and they're being bullied. They're being prevented from being a club at CUS UMB over here in the Monterey Bay because of what they teach, the Constitution. It's absolutely absurd. And the safety issue, right, is a concern. Just being ostracized is a concern. So California Parents Union is adults. We're parents and teachers. We're not a union for kids. So we can take our members in those areas where they're having that kind of bullying or rejection. We can go in and help support them, whatever that looks like. Like talk to the administration, say you can't do this. Here's the legal problems you're going to have. Go to the school board meeting and say, do you realize that Miss Benedetto of the who's a special ed teacher is pushing what's called the Be Yourself Club, which gets kids to question gender, but the principal of that school won't let a TPUSA club on campus that teaches the Constitution. What's wrong with this picture, school board, right? Like we can be.
I've heard from TPUSA that if you get 3 parents with 3 kids, they can't say no to you to have a chapter.
But the problem that's happening, Bob, is remember during the scamdemic, the biggest question I got was, well, Tracy, if it's against the law and against the Constitution, why are they doing it? Right? So you get 3 people, they can't say no, but they do. And they prevent you from being at the club fairs, and they bully you. Do you understand? So what do you do when they're supposed to accept you and they don't? Well, here comes the big guns. We'll help in whatever way.
I think TPUSA now getting down into the schools, and they're realizing this is an issue, and they're going to help us address it, so we can fight more aggressively.
Whatever we can do to help that club.
I know, that's why the partnership is going to be so powerful.
Maybe it's time for another interview with Scott McKay, for you to be on Scott's show, because I think Scott would enjoy this. He'd enjoy, helping you in this process of preventing the bullying. So,
he's a pretty busy man.
Well, there's a conversation for you and Scott.
I love Scott. He brought us on. You gotta. I just don't want anybody to feel like I'm using them or begging them. So when it's time, Scott and I will get back on together.
Yeah.
So it's all in God's time,
Yeah.
from my perspective.
I agree, and I've been talking to, he knows what I'm doing with TPUSA and loves it.
Yeah.
And you, I mean, he knows, what?
Could you imagine if we blow that up? You know, the partnership between parents and kids and TPUSA. I mean, I really believe in what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very supportive.
Yep, and
Yeah.
they're, I think it's all working, God's got it, God's got this, I think, and
Yeah.
it's all coming together the way it's supposed to. And I'll say again, I think the kids are gonna be, or wake a lot of people up. Because they have no idea what their kids, and they're starting to see the results of this, the kids spending all the time on the phones and the social media and everything, and they don't have the social skills. And when I did my mentor program, I realized the time to get the kids was in elementary school. You know, before they got to junior high and the hormones go off and they get into the social media world. If you got them, you know, feeling good about themselves and
confident, you
Yeah.
know, this confusion. Well, it's Satan's domain, isn't it? Confusion, but
Yeah.
it's all by design. So the kids grow up feeling confused and don't have the confidence to, you know, to have a strong sense of self and self-esteem. All the things that we had when we were growing up, you know, they're not.
No, my mentor program, what I teach the people right away, when you get a mentee,
Yeah.
just listen and become their friend. Because everybody else is telling what to do, what not to do, and they're screwing up here, they're screwing up there. And then you get their confidence and you help them start making better decisions, and their life gets better. I'm going to brag quick to you, Tracy. My mentee just graduated from Carpentry High School with a 3.6 grade point average, the Citizenship of the Year award, and he entered a writing contest from Rotary on the 4-way test of Rotary, and he won it, and he and his mother got to go to New York for a week.
Oh my gosh, that is so special.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He's killing it. His mother works 7 days a week and doesn't speak any English. And
That is huge.
Yeah.
That is huge.
and he's out killing it right now.
Chills.
Well, that's important, isn't it? You know, to have a mentor. I mean, you know, with parents working, both parents usually working, especially here in Santa Barbara, you know, it would be great to reinvent that. The
A
mentor
lot of what we
program.
taught in that is what we can make available through getting these kids in a positive environment that they have fun learning and doing it and feeling better about themselves.
Yeah.
That's the whole ticket.
Yeah.
When I was in Baby Lawyer, I was a CASA. I'm not super fan at this point, but I'm sure the Santa Barbara CASA is lovely.
I worked with them for a year. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I had challenges with the Marin CASA. It's a long story, but I was a CASA, and then I began to represent kids in the dependency system, and that's what I did as a CASA. Is I begged them not to give me a teenager because I was scared of teenagers. But they gave me a teenager, and all I did was listen because I was terrified of her. I didn't know what to do. And I watched her get married, have children, and she was found naked on the street doing, you know, who knows what kind of drugs. So it really does matter. And, you know, she reunited with her dad and her mom. She had become estranged. So, yeah, Bob, the mentoring, whatever form it takes is, like, again, it's like the homeschooling. It's the time. It's just paying attention to somebody and listening to them and feeding them and holding their hand or helping them with a question.
I have my mentee is out working with younger kids in his housing development, and I'm encouraging it because they see how well he's doing, and he can get out and give them the confidence to try and believe in themselves. It's incredible.
Peer-to-peer stuff, you know, is really powerful. Yeah.
He's also
Well,
he also just got his first girlfriend, and we're going through that. That's a crazy thing.
Well, how old is he?
He's 17.
17. Okay. Yeah.
I'm coaching him through that.
Before we finish up, we're, you know, as well as making a difference one by one, we're looking at doing a big event here. Are you familiar with the Arlington here? Are you the theater?
No, I don't think so.
There's 1,776 seats. So I said to Bob, I said, just let Scott know that there's 1,776 seats at the Arlington. So if we get a chapter or, maybe a few chapters going here, then we've been told that Charlie Kirk will come back. So if we could either do it at UCSB again, because it was a huge success there, and or we could do it at the Arlington, and then invite you as a speaker, Tracy, and Scott McKay, and Rob McCoy from Godspeak.
I went and saw Charlie Kirk at the UCSB. That's how I got started in some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And
that would be
he's a
huge,
saint.
you guys.
He's a saint. I mean, he listens to those kids. He doesn't beat them up, and just makes them think.
He doesn't get triggered.
No.
And there were students.
They have a lot of wisdom. They have a lot of wisdom and no knowledge.
Yeah, there were students that
Or a lot of knowledge, no wisdom.
There were students that had been purposely put there to try and get him triggered, and he didn't. They couldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You get beat up enough, and you just can see it all coming, and just if you're doing God's work, you're fine. It's just literally, that's the armor right there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yeah, well, that's really, I'm gonna have to pay more close attention to that.
Well, I think we're all coming together for the right reasons, and I think we're putting a group together between TP USA and the California Parents Union. It's a match made in heaven, and we can really build on it. And
yeah, well, let me know how we can help with the event, please.
Okay.
We have a board member in Oxnard, so that's kind of close.
Okay. Yeah.
We're getting cold. We got a minute left, Tracy. Do you want to leave with any words of wisdom?
CaliforniaParentsUnion.com or cpogpac.org. $25 a year. And if you have a problem that you need help with, email me, Tracy at CaliforniaParentsUnion.com, because ultimately that problem becomes a solution and a resource that's shared statewide. My phone used to blow up 12 hours a day, and it's slowed down. So
I'm gonna get Florida to get together something to hand people to let them know the benefits of being in the California Parents Union.
Good idea.
Well, we do have flyers, but the best thing to do is go to the website, and the best thing to do is just call me or email me. Our information is on the website, CaliforniaParentsUnion.com. And remember, if you're a teacher and you join, you need to email me your address, because I will send you Rebecca Friedrich's book free. It's a $25 value. So it's basically you're buying a book.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. I love you, and thanks for all that you do.
God bless you.
God bless you, and we'll stay in touch, and I think we're on the road to something really positive here. So thank you.
God bless you both, and thank you. I was honored to be here, and this was an amazing conversation. So see you guys soon.
See you soon.
Say hi to the old man.
Okay.
Take care.